Soft, silky rice rolls, savory filling, crispy shallots, herbs, and fish sauce soaking into every bite.
I cannot believe that this is rice paper.
This is Bánh Cuốn. Everyone loves it, but almost nobody wants to make it at home.
If you've ever watched someone make traditional Vietnamese bánh cuốn, you know that it involves this huge steaming contraption. And honestly, most people are not setting that up at home, including myself. In the last year, I've been seeing this shortcut version using rice paper go completely viral on TikTok. And honestly, I didn't believe it for a second. Seriously, rice paper? But I recently found out that even my mother-in-law uses this hack. And if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me, okay? The woman's legit. She literally makes everything from scratch. So I went home, I tried it, and guys, it's amazing. I've been talking about this hack nonstop to anyone who would listen. So I'm actually super excited to show you guys this because this is the only way I'll be making bánh cuốn from now on. Let's get started. So the first thing that most people are gonna ask me is this actually legit? Does this actually replace traditional bánh cuốn? And the answer is no. Bánh cuốn is made from a very thin rice batter that gets steamed into thin, delicate sheets. And honestly, it's pretty difficult to replicate that at home without using the proper setup. For years in my house, we were making bánh cuốn at home using the non-stick frying pan method. And while that method can work pretty well, it's not the most foolproof thing to pull off. You need the right batter, you need the right pan. You actually need two people to work on that because you need someone who's gonna be making the sheets and another person to be putting in the filling and rolling it up. So the shortcut version uses softened rice paper instead. And while it's not identical to traditional bánh cuốn, it still captures a lot of the same flavors and experience in a much easier way. So one of the best parts of bánh cuốn is the filling. So today I'm gonna be making the traditional filling, which is pork and wood ear mushroom. You can use chicken, fresh mushrooms, add shrimp. The world is your oyster, okay? I think this is the perfect blank canvas for that type of experimentation. So let's start by marinating our ground pork. I'm using about 1.5 pounds of ground pork here, and to that, I'm gonna be adding some chicken powder, a little bit of fish sauce, some sugar, and lots of black pepper. So just do your best to mix it together well, and we'll take this over to the stove and pan fry it with some wood ear mushroom. So when you go to the grocery store to look for wood ear mushroom, they come in packages like this. But today I'm gonna be using the pre-sliced one because it just makes things a lot easier. So what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to soak this in warm water for about 30 or 40 minutes before you pan fry it. And once it's softened up, you're gonna wanna drain the water and you're gonna wanna cut it into small pieces. What we're also gonna need for our filling is a lot of diced onion. Here I have half an onion and I'm gonna be dicing it into small pieces. A very important component in bánh cuốn that's sometimes overlooked is the fried shallots. So they do sell fried shallots in jars in the supermarket, but I don't love those because they've been sitting in the oil for so long that sometimes it's a little bit rancid, it's not crispy anymore. And because we're already gonna be saving so much time not making the bánh cuốn sheets, I think it's important for us to put care into these other areas to really make this dish shine. Grab a large package of shallots just like this. What you need to do is you need to peel them, wash them, and then slice them down the middle, just like this. And once everything's all chopped up on a plate, you're gonna wanna pop this into the microwave for about a minute. So this is the hack to getting ultra crispy shallots at home. What you're doing here is you're making the shallots sweat it out. It's gonna get rid of all its excess moisture. So you're gonna use a paper towel to really blot it all up. Then in a pan, you're gonna go heat up a large amount of neutral oil. When the oil is hot, just like this, you're gonna put in the shallots, okay? And it's still at high heat at this point. After about 10 seconds, you're gonna turn the heat down to low. Then you're gonna let it go for like 4 to 5 minutes until it turns this really pale golden color. Do not wait until it turns too golden before you take it out because that's when you burn it. There's a very thin line between perfect and burnt. And it happened to me yesterday, so take a look at this. This is my second time doing it, okay? I burnt it yesterday. I just turned around to get another plate, and when I came back, it was black like this. So don't let that happen to you. Have everything ready before you're ready to go so that you can take it out at the perfect time. Okay, now that everything's ready, let's go over to the stove and pan fry these.
So once the fried shallots are done, let's move on to the filling. Add some of that fragrant shallot oil to a hot pan, then saute your diced onion until it's slightly browned. Next, add in the marinated ground pork, breaking it up into small, loose pieces while letting it brown properly. Now you're gonna go in with your chopped wood ear mushrooms. Do your best to break up the pork into fine, loose pieces, but if it's still clumping together, don't worry about it. You can always go back in later and break it up more finely. So just keep pan frying it until most of the juices have evaporated, and then we're gonna transfer everything into a bowl.
Okay, so I've just transferred my meat into this small bowl. And like I mentioned, some of my pieces are still really large. So I'm just gonna use scissors to cut it down a little bit so that my filling is very, very fine. Okay, so let's prep the bánh cuốn. I have a bowl of warm water here. And what you want is you want a very wide bowl so that you can submerge and soak all of the bánh cuốn sheets. So take our reserved shallot oil and we're gonna be adding just a spoonful into this liquid. This is gonna help the sheets from sticking together, okay? So take the rice paper and you're gonna wanna put them into the water one by one. What you don't wanna do is dump this whole thing in here because then it's gonna get all stuck together, okay? Take them apart and put them in just like this. So I think 10 to 15 minutes is the perfect amount of time for you to soak the rice paper in the water. This is my favorite brand of rice paper. I'm using square shape because that's what I have, but you can go ahead and use round shape as well. I'll be honest, this is the only brand of rice paper that I've tried it with, so I don't know how it'll be with other ones, but I think you can find this brand pretty easily. Okay, so after about 10 minutes, the sheets are gonna be ready for you to work with. So take them out of the water. I almost forgot this, but you should oil your work surface as well. Okay, lay it down like this, and with your filling, spread it on the lower part of the bánh cuốn, just like this. Leave a little bit of space here, okay, so that you can fold it over. And then you're just gonna go like that and fold it into itself, just like so. Some people like to fold in the ends as well, but I prefer it just like this.
Bánh cuốn is believed to have originated in northern Vietnam, where the best versions were judged by one thing: how impossibly thin and silky the rice sheets were. The technique itself likely came from centuries of Chinese influence, but Vietnamese bánh cuốn evolved into its own thing with fish sauce, herbs, savory filling, and that unmistakable layer of crispy fried shallots. Traditionally, making it was a full process. Rice soaked overnight, stone ground into batter, then steamed one delicate sheet at a time by hand. Which is why this rice paper hack feels almost illegal, because somehow it gets you surprisingly close to the real thing without needing this entire crazy setup in your kitchen. After brushing on a thin layer of shallot oil, here's the next crazy thing that we're gonna do. We're not even gonna be steaming this. Just place a damp paper towel over the top and microwave it for a minute. Look at how amazing this turns out. Silky, soft rice rolls that are about to get even better with some garnishes. If you've had this, you'll know that bánh cuốn without the garnishes just isn't right. To turn this into the complete iconic plate, we're gonna serve it with some blanched bean sprouts, sliced cucumber, Thai basil, pickled carrots and daikon, and of course, some chả, sometimes called Vietnamese ham or Vietnamese bologna. Then finish it off with a heaping amount of crispy fried shallots, because honestly, that's what makes this dish scream Vietnamese. And tying it together is gonna be this nước chấm, that sweet, savory, tangy fish sauce that soaks into every bite. I've got the full recipe for everything here linked on my blog below. And just like that, you just made yourself a pretty legit plate of bánh cuốn that's gonna shock all your friends, I promise.
You and I till the end, don't need to pretend.
Wow, look at this. This is amazing. I think this is one of the best things I discovered this year, not even lying. Let's give it a taste. So good. Why would I ever do it on a non-stick pan again? It's so soft and silky, but there's still like a little bit of bounce, which makes it so good to eat. Our filling is nice and savory, and it really balances out the delicate exterior really well. I cannot believe that this is rice paper. We're serving this with some chả, which is Vietnamese ham, pickled carrots and daikon, cucumber, blanched bean sprouts, and a little bit of herbs like Thai basil or mint. That's the perfect pairing for bánh cuốn. So guys, the reason why I'm so shook is because I usually don't believe these hacks, but this one actually blew me away. So if you know any other ones that you think I should try, leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you want to see more Vietnamese recipes, hit subscribe and follow along. See you guys next week.